Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever, the 144,000. And the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen that look like those heathen, and to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with a quick lesson in truth. And I want to read this scripture before I begin to speak on and play the video. But this is Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, 12 and 10. Never trust thy enemy. All right. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. All right. So iron, no matter how much you clean and oil you put on it, when it's shiny and clean, the rust is always going to come back or appear. All right. Here's a man calling out wickedness, but yet he's standing in front of a false flag. And see, Americans are so simple. They're sottish. Just sottish as the sottish means stupid. Just like when the Lord says that the children of Israel are sottish children, and they are, but the stupid asses in America. But the average American is stupid as well. All right, because lawyers, politicians, and judges, all right, and everyone that works within the law system are some of the most crooked and un-American. Actually, they're all committing treason. All right, because what you're looking at on the wall is an actual real flag, but the flag that's hanging from the pole there with those yellow fringes around it, what that's telling you is that those fringes represent laws. And to show you how they rob and steal from the Bible, the fringes on the garments of the Israelites, which they're told to wear on the border of their garments, which the imposter people who claim to be us don't do. All right. Those fringes are representations of the law in the Bible, just like the fringes on this flag is representations of their law. So what this man did was they created a law of the land. All right. And they present that law of the land because that law is really upstanding and it sounds great when you read it and you speak about it. When they did the words of the minus the third part of the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance. Those things sound so upstanding and pious, but those things were completely defrauded and pushed to the side by those yellow fringes that circle it, because those yellow fringes represent maritime law. They represent a law that's not the law of the land, and that is what they govern you with. And this is how they keep you poor, keep you broke, and keep you in and out of prison, and keep you paying illegal taxes and all other matter of things. And because if Americans actually had any sense, it's prophesied everything has to go the way that it's written in the Bible. But if Americans had any sense, they would have been raised up and replaced that government. They would have been done it. They have no idea how wrong they're being done and how the law is pushed to the side. That would be like you, and they showed you that when they swear you in on the Bible in the court. Because in 1982, it's either 1982 or 1983, when Ronald Reagan declared the King James Bible, with the Apocrypha, by the way, the law of the land, right? But in the court, they swear these people in. This guy wants to run for president, and they swear him in. He'll swear in on that Bible, even though he probably, believes in Krishna or some other, God with a whole bunch of arms and whatever, elephant gods, whatever, the gods where he comes from. And, but he'll swear in on that Bible, and then they put the Bible behind him, and they go to all those yellow fringes. And I think it's like 5,000 something different codes. And they're judging American citizens with codes and statutes, which are actually illegal to do because this is of a foreign entity. It is of It's a foreign treaty, and you cannot put American citizens under a foreign treaty. So almost everything that they send to you, almost everything that they do to you in the courts, no matter what the circumstances is actually illegal. You know, when you consider the Constitution, when you consider the Bill of Rights, the law of the land, and all these lawyers and all these judges and all these politicians willfully violate those rights and those truths. So I just thought I'd share that because the average citizen does not know this. All right. So let's listen to Vivek, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, Ramaswamy, call out and expose Esau Edom for his evil. All right. And the thing is that he's going to give the greatest speech. That's what politicians do. All right. But even if he means this, all right, if he really means this with the bottom of his heart and he intends to do this, if he can get in office, once he gets in office, he's going to get pulled to the side, by the enforcers of the yellow fringes there, and they're going to give him the real deal, and he's going to fall in line just like all the others do, or he'll end up sleeping with the fishes, so to speak. All right, taking a dirt nap with the others that tried to go against that, and the other two being Lincoln and the what's his name, Kennedy. All right. So without any further ado, let me make sure the sound is right. And here we go.
With all the news coming out today, what would you do about the individuals on Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs?
Yeah, look, we got to actually, and first of all, that's not even the whole thing. Why are we only seeing a partial list, a redacted list? So what I'm thinking right now, and a few years ago, I didn't think this way. People say this is a conspiracy theorist mindset. No, it's just a reality awakening based on how the game is played.
And wow, I'm glad that he said that, because certain media talk points, they love to use that word conspiracy theory, and once people hear it, they've been conditioned that, well, that's a bad thing, that's a lie, that's something that's made up. And the truth of the matter is, the word is a simple word. Conspire means with, all right? Not against, like they tell you with legalese, all right? And then spiracy is spirit. So you're just doing something or saying something with spirit, all right? Like he conspires to be the president. The guy who asked him the question conspired to be a journalist, all right? So when did that get bad? You conspired to go get a job. You conspired to link up with that woman or that man, all right? So how, you see how simple it is, and how they twist it, and they took the word and made the word something negative and something crazy, and he just pretty much brushed it off and clarifying that it's not. But let's let him continue.
I think that was actually a deflection.
Yes.
Because it was a way to at least placate the people who have been making demands for a long time to actually avoid releasing. Just give us the full list. Give us the full video footage of what happened.
Last time they did that, we all remember the thing with the 19 in it. All right? Right on cue, and a couple other things. Because you were in the middle of a retail apocalypse. All right? This list hit. And there was a whole bunch of other stuff. And then all this distraction, all these other distractions came to distract from it. And it sat dormant for 2 years. Now that this list is out again, expect, things to get do. We're 8 days into the 2024, and every day there's something epic that's happening. All right, even the Cat Williams things, it has some, well over almost 50 million views at this point. All right, collectively, and a lot of truth coming out, just showing you the evil and the wickedness, which the men of the Lord been telling you that for years before Cat opened his mouth. All right. And even though a lot of truth is being spoken, it's still a distraction.
Happened inside and outside the prison. Tell us exactly why Jeffrey Epstein was saying before he said, they tried to kill me, I'm not committing suicide. And then what ends up happening is what it looks like his brother actually has offered a different account in recent days. My answer is we deserve a government that tells the people the truth. Lay out the full information, not the partial list, not the redacted list. Why do you need redactions? List the whole thing. We, the people, deserve.
They can't do that. They'd have riots in the streets if the truth was told in America. All right, and the main people who would actually riot would be mainly your white Southerners. All right, and maybe a good portion of the black community, Hispanic community, once they realize how wrong they've been done. But you definitely gonna have your white Christian population would actually start. They would attack and burn down. They're starting with the mayors and the governor's mansions. They would go after them first. That's how bad it would be if the truth is actually told. You can't tell the truth here, all right? And if you speak the truth, you're actually referred to as a terrorist, all right? Anything that goes against those fringes on that flag, which shouldn't be there, you got a problem, or you're a problem.
The truth. We have a government that has systematically lied to us from the truth of, all the way. It goes back. These are third rails you're not supposed to touch. The truth about Saudi Arabia's involvement in 9/11, all the way to the basis for the war in Iraq, all the way to the basis for the 2008 bailouts, all the way to the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that never was. The Hunter Biden laptop story we were told that was false on the eve of the last election, absolutely true. To the origin of COVID-19, which absolutely did begin as a man-made virus in a lab in Wuhan.
Right, 9/11 was also committed by men too. I'm not going to say who, but because, if you really, everyone knows, no one's just as brave enough to speak about it. And I'm simply not going to say it because I don't want to strike on my channel. I don't want the algorithm because I want to continue to teach and edify. All right. And the biggest lie is who the Israelites are. And if you believe that those people over in the land of Israel are the people of the Lord, quite frankly, you're just stupid. All right. Or you just got that much hate in you that you refuse to, look at facts. And that's something that a lot of Americans do collectively. All right. They ignore flat facts and they just ignore it like it's not there.
You would have been censored if you said as recently as 2.5 years ago. Weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. That's what I was referring to, the basis for the war in Iraq. All the way to how our money's being spent in Ukraine. The truth about what happened on January 6th, which we still don't know. Well, but the extent to which and how, tell us the details. Release the video footage. All the way to the National
Right.
Transgender Shooter Manifesto, which they refused to release. Every other shooter manifesto released except for that one until it got leaked. All the way to the Jeffrey Epstein client list. We deserve a government that tells the people the truth again. And if there's one thing I can promise you is your U.S.
The government never told the people the truth. Ever. Ever. All right? This is Ecclesiasticus 10 and 8. And this is because of unrighteous dealings and injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And the fraudulent action that took the lives of all those people on 9/11, all right, has led you up to this moment that you're in right now in Western Asia. All right? Not the Middle East. Okay? The what they refer to the Middle East is Western Asia, has always been Western Asia. Well, ever since Alexander's descendant Scipio Africanus conquered it. All right? Scipio Asiaticus, slip of the tongue. Africanus was Asiaticus' brother. So, there is no Euro-Asia. There is no Middle East. All right? You have your continents. And so what is the Middle East another continent? Is Euro-Asia another continent? How? It's already been counted. Europe and Asia. So these people, they love to blend words and blend things and create lies to fit false narratives. That's what they do.
President, we will tell you the truth not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. Tell you the truth when it's ugly. That's how we actually rebuild trust in this country. You want to know something? If you want somebody who's actually going to get in there and speak truth to power, start by voting for somebody who's going to speak the truth to you. There's a reason why I'm the only candidate in this race who can say these things. It looks like January 6th, just look at the facts. It does increasingly look like it was the product of government entrapment. That's what it looks like. Gretchen Whitmer. We actually know that was entrapment because it was actually proved by a jury that acquitted 3 of those people. There's a systematic underbelly of the administrative state, the deep state, in the law enforcement apparatus in this country.
Absolutely, and that same systematic, corrupt systematic system has systematic hate against the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, especially the so-called Negro, because they understand who exactly the Negro's role within the 12 tribes. All right, and that's why they targeted the Negroes the way that they did, because they know once they wake up, the rest of the tribes will wake up. So they targeted them the hardest. Give you an example. I'm holding the book Hidden Heroism. Let's pull it up. And I'm gonna read from and I got this book from a Barnes and Noble that's now closed. It got hit with that with the retail apocalypse, and yeah, I got this book probably about 12 or 13 years ago. All right, and I've done many lessons on it in the past. A lot of those lessons were pulled down, but yeah, I'm gonna read from page 63 and 64. All right, and it says, yeah, I start at the bottom paragraph 63, and it reads: After these riots in Texas and Georgia, relations between the races were frighteningly tense. A white woman in Atlanta told the visitor from the north she did not feel like she knew African Americans anymore. Right. Because some of them, they had gone off to war and they had went overseas and killed white people, and they came back, or Edomites. There's no such thing as white people. And they came back with a certain chip on their shoulder and pride, and just didn't want to take bullshit no more. All right. And it says, since the riot, they have grown so glum and serious that I'm free to say I'm scared of them. Similar feelings could be found throughout the white South. All right, and the Ku Klux Klan responded by becoming even more visible and violent. Southern blacks were no less tense. Many immigrated to the North. Racial tensions were not eased by repeated lynchings. For example, in early 1911, a black man was accused of killing a white man, and mind you, no white man ever went to jail for lynching none of these Israelites. No Edomite ever went to jail, even though there was evidence. They even posed and took pictures, sometime with the police and the sheriff right there in the pictures. No one ever went to jail. Just remember that. And they want to call that critical race theory. No, that's critical race historical facts. Just like the name of this channel, because this is going to go up on that channel for sure. But it says a black man accused of killing a white man was taken from a jail cell in Livermore, Kentucky, to the town's opera house, where the admission fee was charged to all those who wanted to watch his murder. Anyone who paid for the orchestra seats was allowed to empty his revolver at the victim. Those in the gallery were limited to a single shot. The NAACP was outraged. And you ever hear this story? Now imagine if they made a movie about this. All right. So he went down to the jail, removed him for the jail. So that means all the law enforcement was involved. The lawyers, the judges, nobody did anything to stop this or keep this from happening. All right. Now imagine you did this to a little Jewish boy or so-called white man today. All right. They dropped bombs on that town or that area of those people. But it says the NAACP was outraged, all right, and NAACP was created by the very enemy, all right? They're not really for you either. As were many other African Americans who learned about the killing, there was no apologies given. Not only did whites offer no apologies for the ways in which the lynching was carried out, but many pointedly insisted that once they believed that a crime had been committed by a black man, it did not matter which black man was lynched for it. A Southern military man, Captain McBain, explained this position as follows. And I'm on page 64. Burn the nigger. We seem to have the right nigger, but whether we have or not, burn a nigger. It is an assault upon the white race. It would justify the white people in burning any nigger. The example would be all more powerful if we got the wrong one. It would serve more notice on the niggers that we shall hold the whole race responsible for the misdeeds of each individual. And many of them still have that stance to this day. Let's prove it. Because the South ain't changed. These are the same people that you got people saying that they deserve mercy and stuff too. Well, the Bible says differently, but here we go.
Jail, and they were not inmates. Relatives of those found buried behind this jail just thought they were simply. Over 200 bodies were just found buried behind a Mississippi jail, and they were not inmates. Relatives of those found buried behind this jail just thought they were simply missing. They're calling this a pauper cemetery, which means a poor man's cemetery who can't afford an actual burial, but that's not what this was. For example, one of these people was hit by a police car, and the police covered it up by burying them in this area. They claim to not be able to identify the body, but when they exhumed these bodies, they found this person to have his ID in his front pocket. Families of missing persons are showing up with pictures of their missing relatives, just waiting for the bodies to be exhumed to see if they're one of these people. And they end up being there. Mary Moore Glenn found her son Mario. Gretchen Hawkins found her son Jonathan. Betterston Wade found her son Dexter. They were all buried behind the jail. How did these people go from just living the regular lives to being missing and suddenly buried behind a jail by the police? Oh, I'm sorry, the inmates dug the graves. Saying every few months inmates dug new graves to add new bodies to. The police were just bringing them to the jail. Where did these people come from? Why did they die and how? And shocker, no one knows who to blame. Saying that this happened before the current chief of the police department was in his position. But the current chief says, we'll make sure this doesn't happen again. What do you mean? This is making articles, but why isn't this on television, national news? These people had families who were looking for them and they were just dumped in the dirt. What the fuck is going on in Jackson, Mississippi? Save and share this everywhere. They're saying,
like she said, fuck you mean. All right. This was on Rashai La Yasharala. Yahushua is coming back. 144K. All right. You know, the brother puts out informational shorts. I say like and subscribe. All right. But this is Lamentations 4:21. And it reads, Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass unto thee, and thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. And you best believe, you red pieces of shit, you dirty, low down motherfuckers. All right? You sinful, wicked ass, cowardly motherfuckers. You are going to pay double. Let's get it. Endgame, Revelation 18:6. And it reads, Reward her, all right, even as she has rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works, in a cup which she hath filled unto her double. So the payback is going to be a grievous to you Edomites. It's going to be a grievous. Your time has come. Your kingdom is fallen. And everything that you've done is about to happen to you double. All right. This is Lamentation 4:22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And your sins is being put on blast by your own people, and mainly your women, whom you're losing daily. So with that, I want to give all praises, all honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Makakwadash, Wa Abba Babal.